Hello students, today's our lecture is for practical. In this lecture we have to perform a gradient effect on a circle tool. Gradient effect on a circle tool. Listen carefully. I want a gradient effect. Which effect? Gradient effect on a circle tool. On which tool? Circle tool. If you want to apply gradient effect, then you have to use gradient tool. Which tool? Gradient tool. But if you are using gradient tool, if you want to use a gradient tool, then your gradient effect will be applied all over the canvas. If you want to use gradient tool, which tool? Gradient tool, then this gradient effect will be applied on this canvas area, whole canvas area. Clear? But I want gradient effect only in my circle. I want a gradient effect only in my circle. Listen carefully. I want a gradient effect. Which effect? Gradient effect only in my circle. મને ખાલી circleમાં જ gradient effect જોઈએ છે. For example, you can see I am selecting gradient tool. Whenever I have already selected gradient tool, you can see in tool option panel. Which panel? Tool option panel. You can see gradient, different gradient option. Clear? I want to use gradient tool. Which tool? Gradient tool. And you can see I have already selected gradient tool, and in tool option panel you can see gradient effect. Clear? Gradient have different four types of layer. First is for linear, second is for radial, third is for conical, and fourth is for spiral. Clear? First of all, remove all this layer. Remove all this layer. I want gradient tool again. Select on gradient tool, and I want to use this linear gradient. Select linear gradient and apply gradient effect on your canvas area. You can see all the gradient effect. You can see the gradient effect on your canvas, whole canvas layer, whole canvas surface. You can see gradient ni effect akha canvas par આવી. But I want my gradient effect only in my circle. I want a gradient effect only in my circle. So first of all, for that you have to draw a circle. I want gradient tool means what? Gradient tool use more than one color. એક કરતા વધારે કલર યુઝ થાય કોનાથી? ગ્રેડિયન્ટ થી. બરાબર? I want two color, blue and white. You can see I have already choose for gradient effect blue and red. Clear? Blue and white. Now next, I want to draw a circle. So select on your circle layer and draw circle. I want two circle. How many circles? Two circle. First circle I have drawn. First circle you can see circle 209 in layers panel. Again I want to draw second circle. બીજું circle જોઈએ જે થોડું એનાથી મોટું જોઈએ. You can see circle 210. Clear? Now I want to arrange both of these my circles. So select transform tool and arrange. You can arrange your circle by using this duck. Clear? I want gradient effect on my this two circle tool. That's why I have created two circle, first and second. You can see in layers panel circle 209. Whenever I am clicking circle 209, you can see a square box outside circle 209 and circle 210. જેવું 210 સિલેક્ટ કરશો તેવું તમને અહીંયા દેખાશે. આ 210 છે, 209 છે. ક્લિયર? 209 મીન્સ નાનું છે ને 210 એટલે મોટું છે. Now next step, I want gradient effect. Which effect? Gradient effect. So select gradient tool. Gradient tool select करो. जो gradient tool select करशो you can see in tool option panel gradient effect. Clear? I want linear gradient. Which gradient? Linear gradient. So select linear gradient and apply in your canvas area. You can see whole gradient effect on your canvas. You can see whole gradient effect you can see gradient effect in your whole canvas. બરાબર, આ gradient effect આખા ને આખા canvas પર આવી ગઈ, but I want gradient effect only in my circle. I want gradient effect only in my circle. That's why you have to select gradient. Which layer? Only gradient. Select on your gradient layer, and you can see params panel, that is parameter panel. You can see parameter panel. In parameter panel you can see blend method. Which method? Blend method. You can see by default blend method is composite. Which by default blend method is which method? Composite method. So select on your composite method, double click on it. જેવું ડબલ ક્લિક કરશો તેવું એક મેનુ ઓપન થશે, એમાં બહુ બધી બ્લેન્ડ મેથડ છે, and we have to select straight onto. Which method? Straight onto. જો જેવું straight onto કર્યું, you can see gradient effect only in my circle. ક્લિયર? કેનવાસમાંથી નીકળી ગયું ને સર્કલમાં આવી ગયું. મેં શું કર્યું? ફર્સ્ટ ઓફ ઓલ, if you want gradient effect in your circle, then first of all you have to select, you have to create two circle. How many circle? Two circle. First is small, you can see small circle, and second circle is big circle. You can see circle 209 and 210. Clear? Next step, you have to select gradient tool. Which tool? Gradient tool. Inside gradient tool you have to select linear gradient. Clear? And select gradient layer in your layers panel, and in params panel you have to change blend method. By default blend method is composite method. You have to select straight onto method. જેવું straight onto method કરશો તેવું you can see gradient effect only in your circle. Clear? Now I want gradient effect only in my one circle. મને હવે gradient effect જોઈએ ખાલી એક જ circleમાં. I want gradient effect only in one circle. એક જ circleમાં gradient effect જોઈએ, આમાં નથી જોઈતી, આમાં જોઈએ. તો શું કરવાનું? Select gradient layer in your layers panel. Select gradient layer, and with the help of control key, you have to select 209, because you want 209 circle. તમને 209 જે નાનું circle છે ને તેમાં gradient effect જોઈએ છે. Clear? તો એ select કરો. શું કરવાનું? Gradient select કરવાનું અને 209 circle select કરવાનું. Clear? If you want to select both this layer at a time, then you have to use control key. Which key? Control key. If you want to select both this layer at a time, then you have to use control key. Which key? Control key. Clear? I want to select both layer at a time. Select circle 209, and with the help of control key you have to select gradient layer. Clear? You can select both of this layer at a time by using control key. Clear? So select both this layer at a time. Clear? Now right click on this layer. Right click. You can see group layer. Which layer? Group layer. Group layer, it means encapsulation. Group layer means what? Encapsulation. Encapsulation means what? For example, તમારા ક્લાસમાં 40 સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ છે, કોઈક ન્યૂ સ્ટુડન્ટ આવે તો એના લીધે 40 સ્ટુડન્ટ્સને કંઈ ઇફેક્ટ થવી જોઈએ નહીં, એને કહેવાય એન્કેપ્સ્યુલેશન. એન્કેપ્સ્યુલેશન મીન્સ વોટ? કંઈક ઇફેક્ટ કોઈને આપવી હોય, કંઈક ન્યૂ વસ્તુ કરવી હોય તો એના લીધે ઓલરેડી જે છે તેમાં કંઈ ફેરફાર થવો જોઈએ નહીં. તો આને એન્કેપ્સ્યુલેશન જ કહેવાય ને. આઈ વોન્ટ ગ્રેડિયન્ટ ઇફેક્ટ ઇન માય સ્મોલ સર્કલ, આઈ ડોન્ટ વોન્ટ ગ્રેડિયન્ટ ઇફેક્ટ ઇન માય બિગ સર્કલ. That's why I have to use encapsulation, means group layer. જેવું group layer select કરીશ ને તેવું જો you can see small circle એ white થઈ ગયું, gradient effect જતી રહી. કેમ આવું થયું? કેમ કે મેં શું કરેલું? gradient સાથે શું select કરેલું? small circle. I have selected gradient tool with this small circle because I want gradient effect in my small circle. I don't want it in my big circle. So you can see only in small circle you can see gradient effect, in big circle you can't see it. Clear? And you can see group layer and circle 210. Circle 210 it means a મોટું circle. And group layer માં શું આવી ગયું? gradient ને circle 209, કેમ કે એ બેનું ગ્રુપ બન્યું ને, gradient layer ને circle 209. Clear? Now next step, I want to draw another circle. I want to draw another circle. That's why you have to select circle again. That's why you have to select circle again. Clear? You can see circle 2 1 1. Clear? Now I want to arrange my circle like this. Now I want gradient effect in my new circle. I want gradient effect. That's why you have to drag your circle, and you can see whenever I am dragging my this layer, you can see the mouse pointer four-headed arrow. Four-headed arrow થઈ ગયો mouse pointer નો. હવે આ ગ્રુપની અંદર એને ડ્રેગ કરો. કર્યું? ગ્રુપની અંદર આવી ગયું. હવે ગ્રુપની અંદર એને સર્કલ ગ્રેડિયન્ટના નીચે મૂકો. ગ્રુપની અંદર ગ્રેડિયન્ટના નીચે મૂકો. You can see the gradient effect on your another new circle. How can we do it? કેવી રીતે કર્યું? મેં એક સર્કલ ડ્રો કર્યું ન્યૂ. પછી શું કર્યું? આ ગ્રુપની અંદર એ ન્યૂ સર્કલને ડ્રેગ કર્યું અને ગ્રુપની અંદર ગ્રેડિયન્ટની નીચે જ એક્ઝેક્ટ ગ્રેડિયન્ટની નીચે જ સર્કલ લેવાનું. ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ, I want to draw another circle. Clear? I want to draw this circle, new circle. Now I want, જો હવે આ સર્કલમાં ઓલરેડી ગ્રેડિયન્ટ ઇફેક્ટ આવી જ ગઈ. આપણે ગ્રુપની બહાર જઈએ. વેઇટ, હવે ફરીથી સર્કલ ડ્રો કરો. ક્લિયર? નાઉ આઈ વોન્ટ ગ્રેડિયન્ટ ઇફેક્ટ ઇન માય ન્યૂ સર્કલ, જે છે સર્કલ 2 1 3. ક્લિયર? સર્કલ 2 1 3. સર્કલ 2 1 3. આમાં ગ્રેડિયન્ટ ઇફેક્ટ જોઈતી હોય તો શું કરવાનું? અગેન drag circle 2 1 3 into group layer. કર્યું? ગ્રુપ લેયરમાં જતું રહ્યું. હવે ગ્રુપ લેયરમાં જઈને ગ્રેડિયન્ટના નીચે સર્કલને મૂકી દો. ગ્રેડિયન્ટના નીચે એક્ઝિટ આવી ગયો. So you can do it by using this encapsulation method. So your next practical, practical gradient effect on your circle object. So you can do it by using encapsulation method. Clear? In this practical, there is no need to use any kind of animation editing mode. There is no need to set any time. Clear? We have to apply only gradient effect on circle tool. I don't want any type of animation in this practical. I don't want it. Clear? That's why there is no need to use any kind of animation editing mode. So your practical is complete over here. Only you have to apply this gradient effect in your circle. Clear?